Everybody, a fantastically well built stadium that we're all standing in here today. One thing you'll notice is the startling lack of technology in my presentation, so apologies on that. But I just want to bring you through, I suppose, different phases of the project and the challenges that we faced from a technology perspective in building something this big in such a small footprint. So, broadly, what were the challenges from an IT perspective for the building of Aviva Stadium? First of all was the construction timeframes. It was a very, very short build for such a large project. I think in total, from start to finish, this is not a Sisk figure, but I think it's a global figure, it's around 460 million is spent on Aviva Stadium. So timeframes was in around 30 months start to finish, so it was quite a challenging construction. Project team located in various countries. We had representatives from Northern Ireland, the UK, the steel came from Italy and obviously from Ireland ourselves, so that project team encompassed a lot of European territories, and that remained a challenge from an information exchange perspective. I suppose the dynamic nature of the build processes drives continuing changes of requirements. Information is created, updated, issued and acted upon throughout the whole life cycle of the project. So what we see there is changes to drawings, changes to specs, changes to requirements, and requirements to get those changes approved, distributed and acted upon in a very, very tight time frame. Requirements. Information is created, updated, issued and acted upon throughout the whole life cycle of the project. So what we see there is changes to drawings, changes to specs, changes to requirements, and requirements to get those changes approved, distributed and acted upon in a very, very tight time frame. A common and flexible approach to information exchange, and this covered all areas. So all parties, so it's the client, it's the architects, it's the contractors, it's the subcontractors. All parties must have access to update and receive information. Collaboration approach was paramount in the delivery of all of this information exchange. The latest and most relevant information is always available, and then the speed of communication of those changes was obviously very, very appropriate. Kind of hard to come up with what way I was going to present this to you. So the easiest way for me was through the life cycle of the phases of the project. So I know this isn't pure construction terminology, but for me it was the way I understood it, so hopefully that's the way I can impart it upon to you guys. So the different phases are obviously the tender process and the requirements around technology and the use of putting together the bill of quantities and understanding all of the information that needs to come. The actual build, fundamentally part of that is the collaboration process and then the site handover back to the client. So on the tender side of things, what did we use to assist ourselves in fulfilling the requirements we needed and obviously the client themselves? One of the key things was electronic data transmission. There was very little paper in use, and my old bugbear is we had to print everything ourselves, so all of the costs came back to the contractor. Thanks very much for that. But everything was electronic. Lots of collaboration, lots of information exchange through email, and all this sort of stuff, so very little paper compared to where we were in the past. We use a product called C21, estimating for our bill of quantity and tender submission. So fundamentally from the start, we were using database technology to correlate all of our costs, all of our tender pricing, and back to the client. Fundamentally, this was the key. The collaboration was key in the delivery of the project, and our project director, Michael Barnwell, who coincidentally built Croke Park as well, he said this site would not have been built to the standard and time without online collaboration. It was fundamental in the delivery and communication of not only drawings but all project information, from the likes of site meeting minutes through the whole lot. So it was absolutely fundamentally important. That's what that message there, and this is what it looks like just for an example. So on the left hand side, it's internet based obviously, and you have all the documentation, planning application, fire set applications all down the left, and search buttons across the top. So information was absolutely to hand at all times. Internal collaboration, how do we manage our own data? So what we have is we use Microsoft SharePoint for all our Sisk-based documentation. And it includes our management system. How do we operate? How do we build? What are the disciplines? What are the procedures and processes that we utilize across all of our sites? And that information is based on an internal collaboration system. It also contains our quantity surveying handbook and our health, safety, environmental and quality forms and documents. And that's literally, I know I had a short space of time, so hopefully it imparted to you. But just before I finish, John, I just have a couple of pictures just to go through exactly. The first one is back in October 2007. That's what this site looked like. The next numbers is every 6 months, and what I've tried to do is take it from the same place. So this one is a little bit askew. But you can see the project as it builds through April 2008, November 2008, April 2009, November 2009, and literally last month. So you can see that's 2 years build, and you can see the benefits of it out there. So thank you very much for your time today, and hope you enjoyed the tour.
There was a lot of very useful information.